Where is he? When is he going to show up? Have you ever asked yourself, when is the man that I always needed in my life going to show up? Have you felt like someone is withholding some secret to being a successful man from you? Maybe you're struggling with your physical fitness and your nutrition. You're struggling with feeling like you're stuck in some job you don't want. Maybe you're struggling in a relationship that you're not sure if you should be in, and the feedback you're getting from your partner is less than stellar. Maybe you're a father and you just feel completely inadequate, and you keep asking yourself, why do I not know these things? When are the answers going to come? Where is the man gonna Where's he gonna come from that was gonna teach me all of these things that I feel like I should already know? And I'm gonna tell you right now, big dog, you're looking at him. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about when you get up and look in the mirror every morning, you are actually staring at the man that you always needed in your life. You know, for years I asked myself that question, and for years I wondered when he was gonna show up. And at times I would really hang my hat on why somebody didn't along the way teach me certain things that I felt like would have made me way more prepared to be successful and fulfilled in life. And at some point I decided it was just, I stopped caring about what was right or what was wrong or who should have done this or who should have done that, but I started caring about what was actually useful in this scenario, what was actually going to get me the results that I wanted in my life. And in that, I just made a list of every valuable asset that my parents had contributed to my life. And then I set all of those aside. And what I was left with was being able to look at all of the weaknesses that I had, all of the fears and insecurities that I had, all of the things that I just, as a man, absolutely sucked at doing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to find a solution for all of these. I'm going to find a way to heal all of this pain, all of this suffering, all of these inadequacies that I currently see in myself. Once I really got honest with me, and I had an amazing list at that point. And that is how I became the man that I always needed in my life. And that is how you can become the man that you always need in your life. There's so many areas that you get to look at and that you can take responsibility for in your life. If you're currently struggling with your weight or your nutrition, and maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, everybody else in my family struggles with it too. Maybe it's just genetics. Maybe it just runs in my family. And the reality is probably nobody in your family runs. And I don't say that to be harsh. I don't say that to be a dick. But the reality is it's just not a practice that anybody in your family has ever had. But it is a practice that you can cultivate. I don't believe I was born with the greatest genetics on the planet, but from a guy who at one point in his life weighed 300 pounds, and I had to do that thing where you like take a deep breath and then kind of try and suck in when you bend over to put your shoes on and hope you don't like pass out from all the like pressure on your internal organs and oxygen deprivation just to put your shoes on every morning, who now weighs, you know, a lean 210 pounds with single digit body fat. Like, I can tell you, you can get those results if you want to. If that's what it takes for you to become the man that you always needed, you can have those results too. And you can build that confidence in yourself. You can heal that in yourself if you really get honest with yourself. There's another one that I hear quite often, probably twice a month. I used to screenshot them when I would see them in other groups that I'm in on Facebook and other social media. And it pains me every time I read one of these, but it will, verbatim, it will be a father saying, either my kid's an idiot or my kid's an asshole. And I totally get their frustration and their thought process and where they're coming from, because I remember how many times I would look at some of the actions my child would do and I'd be like, what was he thinking? Why did he do that? And the reality is if at any point in time you think your kid's an asshole or you think your kid's an idiot, the truth is you're the asshole and you're the idiot. While you can't control everything that comes into your child's life, You can't control everything that influences them, from their friends, the internet, social media, all of that. You can't control all of it, and you never will. But what you can do is be the dominant guiding force in your child's life. You can model the healthiest behaviors possible. And so it got real simple for me. Anytime I thought I needed to go have a conversation with my son about something he was doing or not doing, go address a certain behavior or pattern that I was seeing, I just created a rule for myself. And I'm going to go look in the mirror. I'm going to go stand in front of my bathroom mirror. And I'm going to ask myself, Aaron, have you addressed X, Y, and Z in your life? And if I can't honestly tell myself yes, without a shadow of a doubt, and that I have undeniable results to back up my yes, then I don't get to go have that conversation with them until I've addressed it in me. It's absolutely absurd for me to go ask my child to do something that I have either not healed or fixed in my life, or that I'm unwilling to do. It's ridiculously absurd, and I don't believe you will ever get the results with your children that you want until you fix or heal that thing in you. Kids are always watching, whether you see it or not. They might have their AirPods in, they might be in front of their PlayStation, but I can assure you, they're watching what behaviors you model, and then they will pick and choose which ones they deem are essentially almost healthy to get them the results for the life that they want. And if you're not showing them the healthy behaviors and the healthy patterns, then you're going to keep going in circles. You're going to keep asking yourself, why is my kid acting this way? Why is my kid acting like an asshole? Why does he or she seem so ridiculously out of control? You know, another one I hear a lot is men struggling in relationships, and I can identify with this one because I've heard the same thing from numerous women in the past, and it wasn't until I healed it in myself that I stopped hearing that. And you're probably hearing something along the lines of, babe, I don't feel like you listen to me. Babe, I don't feel like I'm being heard. Or you might almost feel like your partner is high maintenance or needy or just asking too much of you. And in the back of her mind, she's probably wondering, where's the man that I know this guy is capable of being? When is he going to actually step up and be present? And I used to come up with a whole litany of excuses as to why I could not meet my partner in whatever feedback like that was being expressed to me. And at the end of the day, I just wasn't the man that I needed to be. I wasn't the man that I knew I could be. And it wasn't until I got honest with myself that, maybe she's not asking too much of me. Maybe I'm legitimately not being present because I'm so worried about whatever's happening at work, or I'm so worried about my own insecurities and my own thoughts and my own life that I can't even show up and be present for my partner. What that really meant is that I was getting into relationships to treat a part of me that still hadn't been healed. And it wasn't until I healed that part of me that I could then show up and be present as the man that I had always needed in my life. It was just another area where I got to become that man once that part of me was healed. And when you're looking at this list, whatever your list is, it's not going to be the same as mine, but the ones I just shared with you are some of the bigger ones for me, and they're the most common ones that I hear from other men. Another big one is feeling like you're not fulfilled at your job, or you're just stuck at a dead-end job, and it's not going anywhere, or you're not actually doing the thing that you want to do. You might even be really good at it, but it may not be your zone of genius. It may not be what actually your purpose is or what you were sent here to do. And so how do you get free of that? You get honest with yourself that this isn't where you actually want to be, that you're capable of so much more, and that you can have a greater impact if you're over here, somewhere else. And then you just decide, what version of me needs to show up so that I can become that man? What version of me needs to show up so that I can be fulfilled at work, so that I can feel like I have a purpose in this world? And once you step back and take an honest look, much like I did, at all of those areas that were causing me pain, and just start going through them one by one, they'll just start falling down like dominoes. And what you're left with, once you heal all of those things, is you're actually left with the man that you always needed in your life. You have now become him. What that really means is that you've taken full responsibility for your life and that you are no longer willing to be the victim of the life that you were born into. You're no longer a victim to the friends that you had. You're no longer a victim to your partner. You're no longer a victim to your children or your employer. Or most importantly, you're no longer a victim to the family that you were born to, your mom, your dad. And you can actually see all of them for the humans that they are, and you can appreciate them because you've now healed that part in you, and you're no longer looking to them to get something from them to treat whatever that wound is, whatever that healed part of you is. And you just completely eradicate any of that victim mentality because it's your life. You're always creating something. Do you want to keep creating that victim mentality, or do you want to put all of that same amount of effort into creating the man that you always needed? And then just get to be him, whatever the most badass version of you is. Just go out and be him. I love you guys. I look forward to getting to watch all of you become the man that you always needed, getting honest with yourself and growing through all of that and fully stepping in to who you are and why you're here. And it's going to look different from mine, and it's going to look different from a lot of the other men out there. And that's another big part of this, is to just stop comparing yourself to those other men and what they're doing, and get very clear on who you are. And the clearer you get on who you are and who you're going to be, the sooner you will become that man that you always needed in your life. You know, as I continued to step more into the man that I always needed in my life, and continued to heal those parts of me, some very interesting things started happening. And one of the most recent ones that happened a couple months ago was I got a random phone call out of nowhere from my father. And we talked for a bit, and then towards the end of the call, he said, I just want you to know I'm going to do everything I can to make things right. And I said, Dad, I just want to make sure I'm understanding you, but what do you feel like needs to be made right with us? And he said, well, both in your childhood and even as you're an adult now, I feel like I've been a neglectful parent, and I'm committing to you that I'm going to become the father that I should have always been and know that I'm capable of doing. And man, I broke down in tears after that. You know, there was a part of me that totally could have gone back to victim mode and said, see, I was right. Even he's admitting that he maybe didn't show up as best as he could have, or in the ways that he should have. And that's totally a thing I could have hung my hat on, and all growth could have just stopped right there. All appreciation for him and my family could have just stopped right there. And I chose to not look at it that way. I chose something that I deem much more useful, and like, wow, look at him. Go him for stepping into himself more and wanting to become more of the man that he always needed in his life too. And then in turn, that makes him more available to gift himself to his people, you know. And in that case, it was me. He wanted to be more present for me. He wanted to gift more of himself to his children. He wanted to step more into that man that he always needed. I love getting to watch men fully claim themselves and become who they always needed in their life. I love getting to watch y'all drop that victim mentality and stop blaming others and stop stalling your life and just just going after whatever it was you wanted, and essentially living by the principle of like, how good can it get? How good can I stand this? So that's today's practice. Getting a little teary-eyed talking about it, but that's today's practice. Is when's the last time you practiced becoming the man that you always needed in your life? Maybe you haven't even practiced that. Maybe you feel like you suck at being you right now. And I totally get it. There were plenty of times where I thought I sucked at being me. So I love you guys. As always, got any questions, comments, drop them below. There'll be other ways to reach out to me if you need more help than what's in these videos. You can work with me directly, or you can come join us in person every Wednesday at our group that meets up if you want more of this. So love you guys. Look forward to seeing you next time. I'm out.